Welcome to our YouTube series of Xero training. This is perfect if you're starting to use Xero for your small business. We've got a few short videos taking you through the basics of Xero. You can watch them in order at your own pace or dip in and out to brush up on your skills. This episode, we're looking at the bank account on Xero. Now, if you're on your dashboard, your main bank account will show up on Xero. Now, ideally, you want to have a bank feed set up. And when you add the bank account onto Xero, you'll have this button here saying Get Bank Feeds. It's fairly simple to do. All you've got to do is click this button. And what will happen is it will take you through to your bank's online banking login. And that's how it works. You connect to your online banking, and then each and every day, your bank account will just push the transactions into Xero. All you've got to do is click Agree and log in, and take you through the on-screen steps, and it will set up the bank feed for you. For security, you've got to renew that every 90 days, as you can see here. Okay, so for those with a phobia for online security, you can rest assured this is safe. Xero are a brilliant company, and they go to great lengths to ensure your details are safe. I've never heard or seen news of Xero being hacked or details stolen or anything like that. That said, it is possible to not have a bank feed, and you can simply import your bank transactions into Xero instead. This is obviously a lot more time consuming and annoying. I won't go into this now, but should you want to know, leave a message in the comments and I can reach out to you and let you know. So the main task with the bank account under Xero is to reconcile your transactions. And reconcile is a fancy word for basically telling Xero what those transactions are. So on your bank account here, you click Reconcile. And then that will take you through to your transactions that have been imported from your bank account. So you'll see here on the left-hand side, you've got your bank transactions, just like exactly the same as you'd see on your actual bank statement. And on the right-hand side, this is where you will tell Xero what those amounts are. So if we look at this transaction here, we've got the date, we've got the description that's come from the bank account, and we've got whether it's spent in this section here or whether it's received there. And what you have to do is say who, what, and if you like, why. So the who is employee number one. It's a member of staff. So if you start to type in employee, it will search for your contacts so that you can click the correct one. And then what? Here is where you search through your chart of accounts on Xero. So all the codes that you've got to put different categories in. And if you just start typing it in, the relevant one will come up. So if it was advertising and I start typing advertising, it will come up. Or if you're really smart and you know the codes, you can enter the numbers as well. So if we put in wages, and then why? Well, this was a Christmas bonus. So if we type Christmas bonus, if we look at that again in 6 years' time, we'll know exactly what the payment was for. And then when you're happy with it, you click OK. And it's as simple as that. That's reconciling your bank account on Xero. If we go over a couple more examples, here again, we've got employee number 2, which is the same thing. This is also a Christmas bonus. So I will do the same thing as I did before. Okay, all done. And the same with employee number 3. And you see, as you start to do it, you can get quite used to it and start knocking these out quite quickly. Now here we've got a payment to Shell Garage. So again, I'll put the correct contact. And this was for fuel, so I will put it to motor expenses. Now this also has VAT on it. So I'm going to make sure that I get the correct rate of VAT and say that there's 20% VAT on expenses. And then I click OK. This is what I mean. This is one of the most important parts you're doing on Xero, because this is where the main data comes from. This is going to feed into your reports, your VAT returns, everything. So you've got to make sure that it's correct. Okay. Now, once you've reconciled Xero, once you've reconciled a number of transactions, Xero is quite clever and it will start to remember what you've done. And as you can see in this example, we've got a payment to Microsoft here. And because I've already allocated a payment to Microsoft to this contact, to IT software and consumables, and I put the Y as IT software, it's remembered that. And that's what can make Xero really quite efficient and in some respects automated, because if that's correct, you just click OK. The same as this one, a payment to Evolve websites. That's correct, so I'm going to click OK. And look, you can see we've got the fuel from the Shell Garage there, so we'll click OK. OK. And that's how quick your reconciling your accounts in Xero can be. A case of OK, 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 and then you're done. So if I take you through a couple more examples which are a bit more complicated. So here we can see we've got customer number 2 who's made a payment of £1,500, but I know that that one payment relates to 2 invoices. So how the hell are we going to match that? What it's tried to do is it's looked through invoices and it's picked up an invoice from customer number 1, and that's because the amount matches exactly. But it's not that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Find and Match here. And that will then bring up a list of all the outstanding sales invoices we've got. I'll untick that one because I know it's not that. So we're looking for customer number 2, and it's a payment of £1,500. Now I know the dates match here as well, that we've got 2 invoices for customer number 2, one for £1,000 and one for 500, which, if my maths is correct, that will add up. There you go. It's gone green, meaning that it matches, so that I can click OK. And that's how you can deal with one payment for 2 invoices. Now, slightly more complicated, what if you've got one invoice, but a customer makes 2 payments against that invoice? In a similar way, we've got customer number 3 here that's made 2 payments of £200. And I know that relates to one invoice of £400. So if I click Match, again to bring up my sales invoices that are outstanding, and if I find customer number 3, I can see here there's one for £400. So I know it relates to that invoice, so I'll click that. However, it won't let me match. It won't let me click OK. It won't let me reconcile because it's out by £200. So what we're going to do is this split button here, that's what we're going to click. And that will automatically allocate a part payment of £200 to that invoice. If I click split, it will allow me to split that invoice, and then I can click OK. And now when I come back to this second payment for that invoice, I simply go to Match, find the invoice again, and now it's £200. £200 balance left on that invoice. And then again, it will allow me to reconcile that, so I can click OK. And that's your accounts done. No more entering data, losing receipts, balancing the bank. It's as easy as OK, 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 OK. Now for the super efficient, you can also create bank rules. And these are for regular payments. For example, if you pay us, you can set up a bank rule which says any payment from the bank mentioning Diverso, which is quite a unique name, in the payee name, automatically allocate to accountancy. Now, if you want to create a bank rule, here's an example here, a payment to us for £99. If you click the options button, you can click Create Bank Rule. And that will bring you to the Creating Bank Rule screen. So it's a spend money rule, and all you've got to do is lay out the criteria so that it works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the payee, and I'm going to say that the description contains Diverso, because that's quite a unique name. And I want the contact to be, if I start typing in my account, my contacts will come up and I'll select the right one there. Now, when it comes to trying to get the criteria right, you've got to be as specific as you can so that it only matches the items that you want it to. If it was a payment to someone for IT and you put description contains IT, that's going to bring up a lot of stuff. A lot of things will contain the 2 letters I and T together when a payment is coming into your bank account. So you've got to make sure that it's specific. And now what you can do is don't bother with the fixed line items, but with the remainder, so that it's going to do everything, you're going to say you want it to go to accountancy fees, and we want there to be 20% VAT. Okay? Set the reference during the bank rec, target which bank account it's going to go for. You can say all bank accounts if you want to, or just the bank account you're on, and give the rule a title that makes sense, and that makes sense to me. So if you click save, there you go. You can see that it's worked because it's automatically come up and said, oh, do you want to apply this rule? Now, if you've done this and you've forgotten what the rule is, you can click view details to see what the rule was that you actually made. Or if you don't want to apply the rule, you can say don't apply, and you can reconcile it like you normally would. Okay, but we're going to click OK on that one. Now, what happens if you make a mistake? Let's say this one here, I just click OK and they go, oh no, Christ, that was wrong. No problem. If you scroll up to the top and you click on account transactions, at any time you can find that transaction you just reconciled, which was this one, tick the box and click remove and redo. It'll come up with a warning. So you say yes, and then Reconcile goes to 14 rather than 13 because that payment will appear back in here so that I can reconcile it to the correct place. Okay. Now, the bank account is a main part of how you operate your accounts on Xero, and it's vital to get it correct. And if you do that, then the rest is easy. Now, obviously, the bank feed is great for bank transactions and saving time. However, if you receive or spend money in cash or through another bank account which isn't on Xero, it won't appear here. You'll need to enter it. It's not too difficult, but it's a great idea to avoid this as much as possible. So wherever you can, buying things, spending money, make sure that you do it on your bank account or on your credit card that is also on Xero so that it saves you time. You don't have to fanny around with little receipts. That's it for today. And if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, if you could do me a massive favor and hit the like button or subscribe to our channel to see future videos. Now you can watch our next video in the Xero training series, which is creating a sales invoice.